against Gboiz, also known as the Gboiz, a team of collaborative YouTubers in the Toho community that draw inspirations from different parts. These YouTubers once got together and made a private Discord server near the 11th of September, and went public somewhere near November. Everyone, including myself, flooded into the Discord server with excitement, finally being able to talk with our favorite YouTubers and fellow members of the community. However, this mask of the server soon faded away, and the people who were once excited expressed anger and toxicity towards each other. I interviewed a few prominent members, Gboiz, and moderators of the Gboiz Discord server, and asked them the same question. Do you think y'all made the right choice of taking down the server?
I think it was the right decision to take the whole thing down.
Yeah, it was the right choice, definitely.
Yeah.
If I were to give my 2 cents, I think it was a good idea.
It was a good idea in concept, it just didn't really work out.
When presented with this question, everyone seemed to have something in common. Some of them didn't like that the server gotten taken down, but in the end, it was for the best. Metaclang explained this in his video titled The End. It mostly explained why the server had been deleted, but I wanted to see what everyone else in the community thought of this. So, to start off, I asked Pearldrop to do a voice interview and give his thoughts on the entire situation.
Wow. A little an interview.
Alright, so, I'm just doing this for like a little archive to, keep a little documentary on the fucking Gboiz server, and, I just wanted to ask you a few questions because I know you were like a big part on the server and stuff like that. So, firstly, I wanna ask, like, do you think y'all made the right choice of taking down the server?
Yeah, well, really, I've got my own, like, point of view on the whole situation, but Mita summed it up pretty well in his whole video, on the whole, in terms of the whole Gboiz group. But, at least for a couple of the Gboiz, we kind of wanted to just, like, disassociate from it, just, like, wipe our name from it, because there was some drama. There was a lot of drama, and it seemed like a better option to just remove our name from it and kind of, but like, I think it was the right decision to take the whole thing down.
Yeah. When do you think, like, the server started going downhill?
Well, there was the whole Tuhu jerk drama, which nobody really enjoyed. We didn't really know what it would be like to partner up with another Toho community or anything like that, so we kind of gave it a go. We were a little naive about it, and it kind of blew up in our faces.
I don't think I was around during the Tuhu joke thing. So what exactly happened? Because I've been hearing it being thrown around a lot. I was just kind of like on hiatus from the server for a bit, I think, when it was going on. So I just kind of want to know what this whole Tuhu joke thing is.
Yeah, well, they were basically a really memey, like, shitposty subreddit, and they kind of came to me with the option to partner up with, like, my channel or whatever, and they post my vids, and apparently it'll, like, boost all my views and shit, but they weren't the biggest subreddit, and we kind of, it started off as a thing just for my channel, and then the owner joined the public Discord, and hammed it up with Meta for a bit, and then they kind of, the idea of just partnering our public server with, like, their Reddit Discord server, and people would go across between the servers, and things kind of got a little bit jerky around there, no pun intended, because the owner was being a little bit obnoxious in the public server, and all these different things. It really wasn't like, I don't want to sound like a dick or anything, but it wasn't like our doing. We would have kept the partnership going if it hadn't been so, I don't know, detrimental to both parties, really.
Yeah.
And so Meta just made the decision to make a clean break from it, which was a good move because it was getting pretty heated. People were getting in little fights, and then they've kind of held this grudge against the whole Gboiz just because we decided to split from them. So since then, yeah. But that was like one of the bigger kind of dramas that we had. There was all these other ones that were going on the public server, and that's part of the reason that it was ended up deleted.
Yeah.
It's kind of a shame, but it was a multitude of things that led to it in the end.
Yeah. Do you think
Really?
how did you like feel about like the transfer of power between Meta and Scabby? Because I know a lot of people were like unhappy about Scabby becoming the leader of the Discord server.
Yeah. There's a thing you got to remember is that Meta is only like one dude. He's like literally just like all of us. He runs all these things at the same time. He's actually got a lot on his plate as it is, and handling the public server ended up being too much for him. There was a lot of people just ranting about Meta's ownership, and he was like probably one of the best owners we had because we transferred ownership a few times in the end. Yeah. But the transfer to Scavvy was really just to take the reins off of Meta for a bit so he could like. He was getting like really down about it. He was getting really like, I don't know, it was too much for him. And it makes sense, he's only one person. So, yeah, transferring the reins to Scavvy, it was going around that it was going to be a whole lot of other people that were candidates for new owner. And it was me at one point, and then eventually it was Scavvy because, well, he was one of the most competent mods at the time. He was already like pretty well versed in how to run Discord. Yeah. And so we gave it to him. He lasted a decent while and he did a pretty good job, but I think in the end it was like the same for Meta, but I don't know, it was too much for him as much as it was for Meta, but I don't know, he just couldn't handle it and decided to leave. So I forgot what happened after that. Who was the owner? I'm not really sure.
I don't really know what happened after Scavvy.
Yeah, to be honest, it gets a bit cloudy at some points.
Yeah.
But Meta came back in the end and then saw the whole thing off.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the whole deal with Scavvy.
Do you think part of the reason why like the Gboiz Discord server started going downhill was when like Barry, Vertlux, and Cernus were all like leaving the server because like it wasn't like really Gboiz. Like some people were like, it's not really Gboiz anymore because like everyone's leaving. So.
Yeah, well, funny thing is that was like one of the biggest reasons that we decided to delete it in the end, because it was causing all this stress on members of the team, and people ended up leaving because of fights and spats, and really we just realized that if we hadn't made this in the first place, we probably all would have still been on the team. Like, some of us might have lost interest and left, but that's just how it happens. Yeah. And then, yeah, people ended up leaving. That's why we were like, wow, the server is actually more harm than good in the end.
I mean, I understand, the server was toxic.
Yeah, that like, you go into general, and 80% of the time, it's like spamming horny chat or horrible memes, cringy shit. Yeah, and then like there's another 20% of the time where you get a good conversation and you meet some cool people. And like, yeah, that's the sad thing about deleting it. There was some genuinely good people there that I had some really awesome conversations with. And that's what you hope to, that's what I'm hoping to continue on my new Discord when that opens up soon. So I did enjoy the public server, and it is a shame that we had to delete it. But yeah, if you have any other queries, I'd suggest go watching Meta's.
I watched Meta's video, but I kind of wanted to like get a perspective from like everyone, just because like, you know, if Meta's like one person, and like, you know, I kind of want to see what the community thinks of like everything.
Yeah, there were definitely some Gboiz that don't really even care what happened to the public server because they just left it long ago and thought it was a bit of a hellhole. And they probably made the right call.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah, I like the public server, and it's a shame to see it go down, but it was the right decision in the end, in my opinion.
all right, thanks. I'll catch you whenever.
Yeah. See you, lad.
This interview gave me a lot of insight on what could have happened to the Gboiz server. Pearl really did care about the server and even really enjoyed it, but To Her Jerk drama could have been the drama that sparked the wildfire in the forest. Collaboration can be stressful. Though this information alone wasn't enough because Pearl was also with Gboiz and I wanted to get some opinions from some of the members. So, what I did was I went to the most wholesome member of the Gboiz Discord. The first question, obviously, is do you think that it's good that the server's gone now?
Well, in the Gboiz server, it's kind of like two sides of the same coin. There's half of the people who don't like the server because they think the server is too like strict on rules, and then there's the other half who really love the server like me because the server is one of the Gboiz is one of the first few Discord that I joined, and one of the few Discord server that really changes my life and inspires me to create some of my own servers and stuff. So yeah, there's like since it's like a big server, there's like a lot of view on it, and I would say it's half and half. A lot of people like it, and a lot of people don't like it. So when it get deleted, some of the people might be happy. The one that kicked or banned, that is, and some of the people who's in the server, they would feel bad about it. But
Yeah.
I take the most damage because the server is really cool to me. It pains me a lot when it gets deleted. So
Yeah.
just like you know that feeling, like you ever have that feeling you have like this server, this main server you go into every day. Like every time you open up Discord, you just go to that server every day to like chat
Yeah.
or stuff, and then the next day the server that main server is gone, and then you don't know where to go anymore. You don't have like a place you stay.
Yeah.
So Gboiz is kind of like a home to me. Gboiz is like a Discord home is what I call it. But yeah, that's my view on it. I'm just really sad now that the server's gone, but that's just how things is, because you know, you in life you can't really have good thing like in life there's always going to be a lot of trouble, not a lot of things coming to your favor, and this is one of the few things that happen. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can remember myself, like, there was, like, a lot of people that I just didn't like from that server, and the reason I called you, because, you were one of the only people that I kind of like from the server, minus all the Gboiz, but, like...
Thank you. You're so cool.
But, okay, so, our next question is, like, okay, so firstly, did you join, the Gboiz server the first day it came out? Or did
Well,
you join,
not
like,
actually.
middle?
I joined it before. I joined it like a few months before its creation. I joined it somewhere around January, and then if I remember, the server become public somewhere around November. So yeah, that's kind of like one of the early members, maybe.
Oh yeah, the beta members or something like that. Yeah. All right. So before like okay, firstly before it went public, was the server like toxic at all? Like.
Well, to me, the server doesn't seem that toxic. Maybe it's because everyone is really nice to me. But then, sometimes it can get a little toxic. Like, sometimes in the chat, some of the people is seeming on other people. So yeah, there's that. And then there's like, people who keep saying the N-word. I don't know. There's like an event back. There's like an event like with the Spanish community, because there's like a little Spanish community in the server. It's really that big. So and then the Spanish community, they call themselves the N-boys. the Enya boys. And then one day they just started saying the N word, and then they got all sealed, and then later they got kicked off. So that's kind of like a little toxic and bad.
I remember when Dinah got all pissed off about that.
Yeah. Oh my god.
It was
That's
good.
the worst though. It's like that's like the lowest. That was like the most worst. The worst thing that I remember the server had, that N word event.
The
It's
N-word
bad.
event, yeah. So, like, when you first started like seeing some of the Gboiz just like leaving the server, like,
Yeah.
do you think that's when like the Gboiz like just started going downhill, or like, when do you think like the Gboiz server just started like, you know, collapsing and like starting to malform into something toxic and not as
Well,
good?
I think the server start to go downhill once General. I think it was called General Worldwide. But yeah, once General Worldwide was like archived and kind of like deleted from the server, then everyone started to go crazy. They said they got mad because the General Worldwide wasn't available, and all the Enya boy got mad. But yeah, I think it's mostly the N-word event, and then the General Worldwide that got sealed.
Yeah.
That's when it started to go downhill. Then yeah, I agree. When some of the G boys left, it kind of feel like everything is like falling on each other. That's like the point where the silver go down. That's how I remember it. Yeah, I would hate to admit it, but I think the Enya boy were the one that really caused it downhill of the server. I mean, like, if they had followed the rule and they don't break it, they don't code, they don't use racial slur or anything like that, the server might be okay.
Yeah.
uh, but because they broke the rule a lot, and then the server had to go to many reform in the rules and all that, and then the server become like really strict, and then people start to challenge the system, and then a lot of people get sealed after that.
Yeah.
Then now everyone outside of Gboiz, everyone that got banned outside of Gboiz, because I do have some friends who really hate Gboiz. I got some friends who do hate Gboiz and want Gboiz to be gone. So
Yeah.
yeah, after the Enya Boys incident, I think there was like a small community that started to hate G Boys. Then yeah, I would say without the Enya Boys, I think the server might be fine. But this is no offense, of course, no offense. I love the Enya Boy. I think I am also part of it because I also started speaking Spanish. I started to learn some Spanish.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, no hate on anyone, of course. I just trying to find the reason, and then I think that's the reason why the server get deleted with the servers as of it, but stuff.
All right.
So,
The last question I've got is do you think the transfer of power from Metacling to Scavy had any impact on the server's toxicity level when Scavy was the leader for a bit?
well, under new management, I didn't see anything change. I don't think. I mean, like under the new management rule, there was just like some changes around the channel, but to me personally, I don't see anything change that much. But
Yeah.
Scavy's management was still cool. I like it. I mean, it's kind of sad that he left. Maybe he saw the future. He saw the future of the G Boys, and he kind of gave up. I don't know, but.
As we can see from this interview, we got a good perspective from someone that was just a member on the server. Someone that didn't really get into too much drama. Someone that really does miss the server but does think that the server going down was good. Because there were a lot of people around him that were toxic, but not towards him. Next, we've got Dinah's point of view on the matter. Another moderator on the Gboiz that joined a little bit later into all this chaos. So, just to start off the interview, when you became a part of the Gboiz, moderator on the Gboiz Discord, was there already like problems or like anything like that? Were you like?
Not really, to be honest. But well, I did get busted by Meta once for posting fucking gore.
Oh. That sounds pretty epic.
Yeah, there wasn't any problems
Alright. So,
until I joined the team.
alright. When do you think, okay, so when did you say that there were mainly problems beginning to arise, and like, do you think there were any ways to like prevent that, maybe?
To be honest, I don't actually think there were many ways to prevent it. I mean, we already had like a ton of people on the team.
Yeah.
I think the main problem was that we weren't motivated enough to actually try and change it drastically.
Alright. Did y'all think y'all made the right choice of taking down the Discord server, or do you think if you left it up, you guys could have maybe fixed it? Like, where do you think?
Yeah, it was the right choice, definitely.
Yeah.
Literally everyone on the mod team just wanted to get rid of it.
Alright, so, and do you think you're just fine with having like smaller communities?
The main problem is that the server just created a ton of like unnecessary drama and controversies, like the two who jerk stuff.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't there.
Yeah. Do you think it like started to go like downhill when like some of the other Gboiz kind of left, like Barry, Verlux, and Cernus?
Yeah, Verlux fucking spammed the word. I think his ban was justified.
Okay, yeah. But Cernus and Barry though.
Yeah, I think Barry left because every time she showed up in like general, people would start talking about fucking feet and shit, and that'd just scare her off.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
I felt really bad for that because I probably would have been able to stop that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to add about the server? Just for like archive reasons or whatever?
Honestly, like I kept saying shit like I'm not gonna miss it and I hate a ton of the people here, but I didn't really hate it, to be honest. I mean, I wouldn't have been added to the team without it, since they saw me during the meme competition back in like February.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah, that's kind of all I can say.
Alright, well I'll get out of your hair. I'll catch you later.
Yeah. Also, one last thing.
Yeah?
Beastmaster for next Gboiz.
Oh, damn, thanks.
Meta, do it, you fucking Irish faggot. Thank you.
Dino was the perfect person to interview for this video. He got into a bit of drama, yes. He joined a bit late onto the moderation team, and for those reasons, he didn't have as much of a bias as some might have. And during all this time, I have been failing to mention one of the questions that I have been asking to a lot of the Gboiz and members. What did you think of Scavy's transfer to leader? A lot of people just didn't like Scavy, probably just because he was political. Maybe it was because he ran the server differently. Or maybe it was just because people didn't like change. But we will never know. So now, let's ask Fides about some of these questions. Alright, so when the Gboiz server was up, like how did you feel about like the server, like in general, just like how did you feel about it?
Well, it depends on what month we're talking about. If we're talking about like early this year, I thought it was pretty fun, pretty chillax. You know, of course there were some cases of people being fucked around with or things being fucked around with, but it was all just normally pretty good all around. And then stuff started happening later on that caused it to sort of degrade in a way or two. At least in my point of view.
Alright, do you think the Gboiz made made the good choice to delete the server? It's like...
I mean, it's not that I think they made a good choice, but I think it was the choice at the time of hand with how things were going, especially with the personal, or not so personal, but just how everyone felt in the Gboiz about the server. So it was, if I were to give my 2 cents, I think it was a good idea.
Okay, so at what point did you think that the server started to like go downhill? Like what event or something like that happened to cause it to go down?
What event? It would be the Meta Raid 2, where everyone was meta-playing again, but that's the one where we lost a lot of admins and fucking members got banned. So yeah,
So
that's where I saw it go downhill.
So the Metaclang raid is just like when they all just like became Metaclang or something like that?
Metacling Raid, yep, there was one which I originally started, and there's a second one that was started by one of the admins, and people thought it was gonna go good, and it turned out to end up with only 3 moderators left, and some of the Gboiz gone from the server.
Do you think when like some of the Gboiz left the server, like that's part of the reason why the server started to go downhill, like Cernist or Bertlux or Barry?
Honestly, I just, not them leaving caused the server to go downhill, but just the community as a whole and what it turned into after that.
Yeah, okay. Do you think if the server was left up any longer, do you think that the server could have had a chance to survive if somebody actually like tried to like fix it or something like that?
The thing is, Skavy was actually made owner just so that, for that exact reason, and so after Skavy left, it sort of, Meta sort of let it decide over time to see if he was gonna keep it up or delete it, and the further it went on, I think it was when he made up his mind, like, yeah, this isn't gonna work.
And that, like, rolls into my next question, like, how do you feel about the entire, like, transfer to Skavy? Because, like, I know a lot of people were, like, pissed off about it, but, like, do you think it was, like, good? Or
I honestly thought he was gonna do some real good. It's just a shame that no one really liked him being the owner. And I think it was more of so, like, the little giggles and haha funnies that were happening along with him just getting owner that sort of made everyone else not like him as much, and I think that's what really caused drainage on him, and what caused him to leave was just all the negative feedback everyone was giving him and all the crap.
Well, is there anything else that you would like to add, like any sort of events that could have added into, like, server's decline, or just anything in general about the server that you, like, saw about it?
Honestly, I think just some chats that were unnecessary happened in the server, like, a lot of stuff from Eevee Gamer, who was banned, but I think that's more of a, if you were there, you know, situation.
Alright.
Yep.
Well, I think that's pretty much it. I just needed, like, a few things, so, thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
As I was interviewing a lot of these people, I started to understand something. There was no one cause to what happened to the server. Everyone has their own opinion on what started it. Fide says it's the Metacling raids. Patchy says it's the Enya boys. Pearl Drop thinks it's Tuhu Jerk. We don't really know what caused all these problems, but only time can tell. As we interview more people, we can probably find a deeper meaning on what caused the problems on the server. Alright, so, like, firstly, do you think that the Gboiz made the right decision of taking down the server?
I think that the Gboiz public Discord server was a good idea on paper and on parade. In practice, it didn't go very well. It wasn't really what the Gboiz set out to be, because what it was supposed to be was kind of a unified front for pretty much every single content creator on YouTube regarding Toho. The problem with this is that pretty much like most of the Gboiz left during the first month, and because of that, it kind of just sort of turned to like a meme-y shitpost type server that didn't really hold much meaning, you know?
Yeah.
I understand why they took it down. As for whether or not it was necessary, I'm not really in a position to say, because I wasn't really fully dedicated to that server. I wasn't active like a lot of other people were. I know a lot about it, but you know,
Yeah.
it was a good idea in concept. It just didn't really work out, because most of the Gboiz were like all right with it for about a month, and then they kind of just, the dedication just wasn't there. They kind of left.
When do you think, like, when it just started to just, like, go downhill? Was when the Gboiz left, or, like, was there any specific drama?
There wasn't a real specific moment when it went downhill. I just think there was this, it was kind of a slow descent of, well, I mean, it wasn't even really a descent, it was just like a change, you know?
Yeah.
It was a slow change into something else, something that the Gboiz and Metaclang didn't really want. Like, you know, because constant dramas, I do know a fair bit of the moderators should not have been moderators, and, well, at least in my opinion, but, and, you know, a lot of people that were kicked really should not have been kicked.
Yeah.
Again, I don't really want to get into the specifics. You're better off talking to someone who knows this more, but there was a rather large ongoing drama that one side just wants to kind of forget about and the other side won't let go. That I've been trying to patch up for a bit now. It just sort of kind of diluted and wore on everyone. But,
Are you fine with this change, like, in general, just being kind of, like, separated into different communities? Because, like, all the communities just being mashed together.
Honestly, I don't really care. I know that sounds kind of harsh, but hear me out. I was never really a big part of the Gboiz public server in the first place. It was fun.
Yeah.
But, you know, once I started my own server, or I didn't start my own server, somebody else started their server and then gave me co-owner, and then handed somebody else their ownership, and then subsequently got kicked off of their own server because they were being kind of retarded. But I don't want to have to go into that. This isn't an interview about my server. This is an interview about how I feel about the whole Gboiz issue. Honestly, I just don't really have an opinion on it. I wasn't active, and I'm sure that the people who were active do kind of wish that they could have stayed longer, or maybe that the server could have been something else.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I just don't really. Yeah, I just don't really have an opinion.
So, the transfer to Scavy, it brought a lot of hate with it for some reason. Can you, like, explain to me, like, do you think it was a good idea that Metaclang switched the ownership to Scavy or not?
Well, people had lost a lot of faith in Metaclang because he had arguably been abusing, or he had arguably been letting his mod team get a little too trigger happy. So what Scavy or Scabby or whatever you want to call him wanted to do was maybe be a bit more professional, you know, because in his view, the reason why the server was going downhill is because the moderators weren't taking their jobs seriously, and for the most part, he was correct. The issue with it is that he was being, you know, Scabby made a great moderator. He really made a great moderator. It's just, and you know, he tried to make a good owner, but based on what I've heard, he didn't make the ideal owner at all. He a lot of times tried to interfere with what the moderators were doing, and it was mostly out of a desire to ensure that everything was going smoothly, but in reality it kind of got in the way. I don't think that Scabby deserved the hate that he got. He really did genuinely want what was best for the server. But the stress and the hate just eventually got to him, and he kind of left.
And lastly, do you just have any last thoughts on the server, on any drama or whatever that's happened on it?
Yeah, there's not much, honestly. I did care about the server. But after a while, I realized that I didn't actually care about the server, I just cared about the people on it.
Yeah.
And
That's how I felt.
yeah, and the people on it, we all know where to find them. Most of them weren't even active on Gboiz to begin with, at least the ones that we cared about.
Yeah. So is that it?
And the ones that were active were also active in other places. So yeah, that's about it.
Alright, thanks, man. In this interview with Yorha, I realized something interesting. He kept bringing up a drama that he didn't want to talk about. And I respected his wishes, but it's still alright if I make some inference on what this could have been. He talked about two parties, that one of them would just hold a grudge, but the other wanted to let go. So, could he be implying that maybe the drama that was caused, that turned him away from the server in some capacity, could have been the Two Who Jerk? Two Who Jerk has been mentioned many times so far, but we don't really know yet. We asked Bread for some more answers. So, let's start off with the beginning question. Do you think that the Gboiz made the right decision to take down the server?
I'm not sure, but I would say yes, because I have seen some drama in there a lot, and I can assure that the moderator and the Gboiz itself has pressure and has tried everything to do to make the server better.
Yeah. Do you think that the server could have gotten better if it stayed up, or it would have still gotten worse?
I think if the server is still alive, it will get worse, because every time drama happening, it went over, and then drama happening again because people come over and over, and we can't just let that hide it. Sooner or later, it will get worse and worse.
Alright. When do you think the server just started to go downhill? Do you think it was like at what point do you think the server started to go downhill?
Let's see. I can't remember it correctly, but I think it start from when Scavy was left. During the time when Meta handed the ownership to Scavy, and then a lot of people don't agree with Scavy leadership. So JP left, and then a lot of things happened, and then Meta take over again. I think that from that point,
Okay, that actually rolls into my next question. When Scavy took ownership over the server from Meta, do you think it was a good move, or do you think otherwise?
I do say it was a good move because I do understand that Meta can't take this alone, so he must send it to other person that understand the server most. And Scavy was like the person that understand the server most because he spent a lot more time in the server.
Yeah. Were there like any specific dramas that could have added into the reason why the server had to be taken down, like Tuhu joke or something
I
like
think
that?
I think the drama that I remember is the time when Dinah deleted the end channel, the
The
worldwide.
Yeah.
The worldwide. Yeah. A lot of people didn't agree on that, but I do understand Dinah because he know that people on worldwide was breaking the rule by posting something that wasn't allowed, and a lot and he already stated that they've been thinking of deleting it, so Dinah take over and deleting it, and a lot of people didn't like that, and they even raid Dinah server and say a bad thing about him and DM him.
Well, do you think the rules on the server were like pretty alright, or do you think they were like dictatorish? Because some people thought they were like dictatorships.
No, I wouldn't think it would be like that because I do understand most of the server had the basic rule like don't post gore, don't post not safe for work, don't post anything that will make the server goes bad, etc. etc. Because it looks like the rule is the same as like the other server, and I don't mind that because I have been into the strike server before.
Alright. Finally, do you think that the server part of the reason the server started to go down went downhill was because the Gboiz started to leave the server, like Bertlux or Barry and anybody else that left the Gboiz server?
No, I don't think it will because like that because they had their own decision, you know. Like Barry, he left because he was busy. Firtux left because he thinks he was not in right place. And Cernis because I don't know about Cernis. He thought he had problem with Meta, for what I have read. And yeah, I think because of that.
Alright, is there anything else you would like to add about the server before I end the interview?
Oh yeah, I think it's right decision for the Gboiz to delete the server because they don't want to get recognized because of the server. They want to get recognized because they are a part of community, Tohu community that are play with friends, and they don't want to get involved in any drama that was happening in Gboiz server.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that's done.
You did good. That interview with Brad was insightful on the worldwide chat and on Scavy's transfer to power. I've got 2 more interviews. One of them is a text-based interview, so I can have that linked in the description if you want to read that. And also, the next interview is generally regarded as the leader of the Discord server, MetaClang, the man himself. I know we already made a video on it, but I wanted to see what he had to say, anything extra to say about the Discord server. So, I asked him for an interview and he responded, so take a look at this very unprofessional interview that was conducted. Well, so I guess let's get this interview started. I guess so. Like,
Go right ahead.
all right. So we all know what's been what was going down, you know, because like it just started. It was all right in the beginning, and then it kind of just went to shit real quick.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning, I was like, I kind of had bad feelings about it. A lot of us, I think all the boys kind of had like bad feelings about it. I think if you go back to, I think it was the fucking the 6th podcast we did, the 6th Gboiz podcast. I literally just got a bunch of the Gboiz together, and we were talking about the public server. And really, from what we were saying is that it was really fucking bumpy. It was really fucking bumpy starting off. We were literally saying, you know, it was obviously going to be really bumpy. Ty actually told me, you know, he thought it would end up like a lot worse. But yeah, it started off kind of shaky and shit. But at the end of the day, we kind of just all like came together and was like, all right, well, I mean, you know, we're going on the right step anyway. Nothing too bad has happened, and yeah, we were optimistic to say the least. And well, what happened on that?
Yeah. So, there was a lot of different dramas in the Tohu community. What do you think, like, kind of sparked the entire, like, fire? Led to the...
What sparked the fire? God, that's a good question. Well, I think one of the catalysts at least was if I were to say like personally, I'm not sure if any of the boys, but I think the day that me and Cernus kind of came to our disagreement, and we kind of just moved away from each other. Cernus left the Gboiz, and well, he kind of just left our whole friend group altogether. But I had a bad feeling. I actually felt really fucked after that day. And I kind of blame myself, to be fair, because so basically what happened is that Cernus got, you know, somewhat angsty, depressed. You know, he wasn't feeling all the best. That was starting to happen for a long time. I don't know how he's doing now. I hope he's in good health anyway. But he wasn't the best for a good while. I was always fucking worried for him, and I remember one night. Well, it was the night that we had our argument, and I kind of just like, I kind of snapped because he was doing it for so fucking long, and I was getting worried each and every fucking time he would do it, and well, I eventually just kind of like snapped at him. I was worried for the dude, you know, he was one of my closest and best friends. In the community and just in general, he was great. You know, me and Cernus were fucking best buds. But I think the night that we had our disagreement and we kind of went our ways, I kind of felt like something was off. And I think when I made the decision to partner with the Tuhu Jerk Reddit, I think that was when I was like, okay, well, I feel like I'm not going out for this. I feel like there's something wrong. And I was doubting myself a lot because, you know, I was the centerpiece for a lot of the drama, and I was, you know, more and more has happened. I was kind of doubting myself, and you know, there was the Blue Moku stuff, there was Cernus, of course, there's the Two Jerk stuff, there was plenty more, I'm sure, but for the most part, I was in the center of it all, and I kind of just I was losing my marbles a little bit, you know. It wasn't until, like, you know, about 2 months ago where I had, like, you know, my break and I kind of like self-reflected a little bit. I had given the server to Scabby at the time, and I just kind of like looked back, you know, I took a breath, I took a breather, and I just kind of like collected myself. And yeah, I think like it was around, I want to say March to April to around March to April to around like the middle of May was when things started going downhill, in my opinion. Well, of course, it's my opinion, so I don't know how the other boys feel about it, but just personally, I think that's when the shit hit the fan anyway.
Yeah. So when Scabby became like the leader and shit of the server, a lot of people just just didn't like him. Do you have any ideas?
Yeah.
Maybe why that could have been?
Well, I think it's more of a case as like, see, me and Scavi were very, very different people. And no, don't get me wrong, Scavi's great. I love the dude. He's fucking awesome. Ever since, he left the public server, we haven't been in contact as much. He's kind of just disappeared for a lot of people. But in my sense of owning the server and his sense of owning the server were a little different, and we kind of collided in some places. I had this kind of like idea, well, if someone were to break the rules, they would pay the consequences. Simpsons will, keep the ball rolling. Scavi would usually, instead, talk to them personally, talk to them and see, why they would do this in particular. And don't get me wrong, that's a great way to do it,
Yeah.
But when you're looking at a server that fucking size, you can't, go to each individual person. And, personally, I couldn't do it, I'd love to fucking do that, go to every person individually and just see, what's up, why they gotta be posting that kind of shit. But, I wanted to get on my life, and I just, if you did something bad, you pay the consequences. So I think why people didn't exactly like Scavi so much is that there was a big change. The rules were changing up. There was a lot of different things. There was curators, there was Gboiz, there was a lot of different things happening.
Yeah.
And one thing I've learned from fucking doing YouTube is that people do not fucking like change.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I can't vouch for people now, but I don't know whether people didn't like Scavi for his personality as himself, or they just didn't like Scavi because of his moderation. But in terms of personality, I don't know why no one would like Scavi. Scavi was a great fucking guy. I think he was probably one of the better people to talk to in the server, because he would actually sit down and understand you.
Yeah.
You'd have a great fucking conversation with the dude. Sorry. Very unprofessional, just burping in the middle of an interview. Anyway, so yeah, no, fucking Scavi, like, I think personality-wise, he was fucking great. I don't know why no one, like him. He's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But on moderation sides, I can probably see why, though. I don't know. I really don't know why people didn't like Scavi. He was a great dude, all the same, and I'm probably just biased. So I'm probably,
Yeah.
I'm just biased, and I'm just like, oh well, I fucking love Scavi, so everyone has to like Scavi. But yeah, personally, I can't tell you why people didn't like Scavi, but I did try to explain the best of my abilities. So yeah, Scavi, if you're out there, I love you.
Scavi, come back to us, please.
I love that man. He's awesome. He's fucking lad.
So, do you think the public Discord server was like the reason like a lot of the Gboiz kind of like left, like Vertlux?
Yes. Hilariously enough, once I deleted the Gboiz server, Max Manny came back to the team.
Yeah, he like posted like the day after it like went down.
Yeah, he was thrilled, to say the least. So, the Gboiz server, I want to say it kind of boosted our popularity majorly, because before no one knew the Gboiz entirely, other than like, oh, they're the dudes who make the Toho podcast, and they're the dudes who made Hey Mr. Remastered. That's it. But now that we made this giant Discord server, and it was like probably one of the biggest and fastest growing Discord servers for Toho, everyone was kind of like, oh, Gboiz, they're the E-boys of the Toho community. But I think God, my brain just kind of went blank there. Sorry.
This one.
Fuck. Oh my god, my brain just fired. Holy shit. Why can't I think? The main reason why a lot of people left the Gboiz is because, well, more or less, there was fucking controversies left, right, and center. People were getting very, very angsty with, staying in the group, because, we were being affiliated with, like, homophobia, transphobia, all this fucking shit. People doesn't want that hilariously, people don't want that on their fucking backs when they're trying to do content on the internet. I know a lot of the boys don't fucking care about that shit, like OVJM and FC, but there are a few that are just kind of like, I'd rather not.
I'm
so basically, a lot of the boys left because we Oh, what were we gonna say? So anyway, so the reason why there was so many fucking leaves in Gboiz was more or less because people were affiliating Gboiz with these, you know, cancers. Kids are going fucking rampant on the internet with fucking, you know, this fucking Discord server that they use to fucking breed autism. So, yeah, more or less, it's more of a case where people just didn't want to be affiliated with the term anymore. Vertlux wanted to move away from Toho in completion. That's more or less his his idea. Max Manny just didn't want to be a part of the Gboiz just simply because of the fucking label we had been given. Remy 5 left the group due to a few reasons, including, you know, more drama, including more fucking members. It's fucking great. I won't get into that now. I'm probably not allowed to get into that now. Super secret hush hush. Cyrus left the boys, of course, because, you know, our falling out, and he for a while wasn't feeling comfortable with being in the boys for a while, since I personally feel it's because his content it didn't really match ours. And Blue Moku left because of well, you know, we had a lot of drama with Blue Moku, and well, we didn't exactly see eye to eye in the end of the day. And other than that, I don't think I think that's all the boys that kind of left. Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, we only lost. Well, I say only lost. You know, we lost some friends. Of course, we only lost. Well, okay, well, it's like 4 members. Okay, that's kind of a lot. But yeah, I wouldn't say the server is 100% the entire reason they left, other than, of course, Max Manny's case. But I think a lot of the boys left for their own reasons. And well, you know, I respect each and every one of their decisions. So yeah, that's really it. So, you know, they wanted to go their own ways, and, you know, they let them go their own way. I'm not gonna stop them.
What are like the Gboiz future plans? Just going into this change of not being a part of the same Discord server, being like separate islands now. Of like, I know y'all are still Gboiz, but like.
Oh, well, because, see, when Clown Please first created the Gensoku Boys, it wasn't even Gensoku Boys. So, sorry I have to give you a little bit of a history lesson, but it's basically the entire story. The best way to describe it even, or explain. So, when Clown Please first created Gensoku Boys, it wasn't even Gensoku Boys. He had a Discord server that was basically for bringing together a bunch of Toho memers. And once Clown Please left, well, actually no, not before that. Clown Please made his server like very, very private, and only he could invite people into it. And so after the content Yama, which happened to Don't Watch My Videos and Don't Subscribe, which I was a part of, that's kind of what kicked off the whole Gensoku Boys thing. We were like, well, you know, we can probably collaborate on more.
Yeah.
And well, I entered the Discord that Clown Please had made, and I made a video called the Gensoku Boys Anime Opening. Well, actually no, I think it's just called the Gensoku Boys Opening, because the name Gensoku Boys didn't exist. I literally just came up with it at like 4 a.m. randomly. And then when Clown Please left, he didn't really, you know, think of much, but we kind of just like took the reins ourselves, and we made I think after Max Manny made his fucking Gensoku Boys Anime Opening 2 or something, whatever, a bunch of people were saying, oh bro, you should make a fucking podcast, and they were like, okay. So that was when we first started properly collaborating, and ever since we made Hey Mr. Remastered, we were like, well, okay, I guess we can fucking do this kind of thing. So the team is kind of just going back to what it was in 2018. We literally just collaborate now and then with each other. We usually make one really big video every year, and then we just kind of go back into our cubby holes and just like do podcasts or just collaborate with like each other individually. But yeah, the private server is still up, and we're just kind of like vibing in it ever since like 2018, early 2018, I think. So yeah, nothing's really changing. We're just going back to our old ways before the Gboiz public server. So yeah, And I'm kind of enjoying it because I was feeling very nostalgic for those times. Because holy shit, I needed some fucking happiness in my life.
Yeah, 2018 was a much simpler time.
2018 was very fucking simple.
Alright, well, is there any last things you want to say to, like, your community, your fans, whatever? Any last thoughts?
Any last thoughts? Shit. Well, I'd probably just say that, a lot of people think that Gboiz is gone. It's done. And again, I couldn't stress this enough in the video I made, you know, the fucking wacky funny taint one. The team isn't going anywhere. We're literally... Gboiz isn't just a team, it's really a group of friends that just bond over one specific subject and just take the fucking piss out of some shit. We're literally just a big group of friends, and we're literally not going anywhere unless we literally, like, fall out of friendship. Because sorry for the pun, but we're just a group of boys. We're just vibing, and we're not going to go anywhere, and we're going to keep making content, and we're going to keep collaborating, and that's really it. There's nothing else to say. I feel like I feel like the team is more of... I'd rather the team to be this kind of niche kind of thing, rather than this, oh, we're the Gboiz boys, we fucking own the Toho community, or whatever the hell. But I'd rather us to be kind of this niche little group where we just take the fucking mickey out of some stuff and we just have fun on the way. And along the way, you know, people will enjoy your stuff, and, you know, eventually, you know, people will find our own individual stuff, like, you know, either like Pearl Drop's Sprite Split, or, you know, my Altered Scrollery, Max Mandy's gameplay, OVGM's kind of Toho theories, Magi's videos, etc., etc. But we're literally just here to collaborate, and we're literally just here to be friends, and that's really it at the end of the day. Friendship is magic!
Oh my gosh. Well,
so yeah.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Well, thanks. That was great. Today, we have learned a lot here. The Gboiz Discord server is kind of like a precedent that we should follow. Mixing this large community with vastly different backgrounds is not a good idea. It causes people to get hurt in the crossfire, cause dramas to start like wildfires. But if you're a Gboiz fan or not, we all have one thing in common. We're all fans of Tohu. The Toho community is already toxic enough as it is, but if we keep telling ourselves that, no one's gonna try and fix it. It's gonna deter outsiders away from experiencing what is the Toho community and what great things can come from it. It's not all bad, but these issues make it look like the Toho community is nothing but bad. I've learned some stuff about some of the boys today that I didn't know in the past. I've learned some stuff about Scaby, and, well, recently after his disappearance, I got to talk to him again, and that was just amazing. So I'm glad to see he's doing alright. I hope anybody else that was caught in this crossfire of drama and all this is also alright out there. Whoever it might be. Just remember, it's our community, and it's our jobs to set a first impression for people looking into the Toho community in general. Hey guys, Beast here. Sorry this video took me so long to get out. I've been quite busy actually, but I hope you all are doing great. I know with the server being down and everyone's down because of it, but I hope you all are just having wonderful days right now. So in the future I'm gonna be working on some more projects like this one, but I just kind of wanted to take a new direction in a video. So I wanted to try out a documentary. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked it, then like, subscribe, comment, all that.